If you're new here, I'm Christine. Welcome to my channel. And if you're not new here, hey boo, I see you coming back. She's has brown hair or whatever. If you missed this moment, last week we did dye my hair. We were no longer rocking platinum blonde or yellow or whatever it was most of the time, who knows, but we are no longer doing that. For today's video, I have more wedding content for you. You guys are eating up the wedding stuff and I wish I could do it just constantly, but we can't get married all the time, you know? I got married one time and that's the last time I'm gonna do it. One of my best friends is getting married. If you missed the first episode of her wedding content, I did take all of their save the date photos and they came out perfection. So many of you have been hitting me up asking me my rates, and I am not by any means a photographer. Like, I don't have rates. I kind of low-key popped off, and I did text Horace and let him know, like, I'm a photographer. Speak to me as such, but like not for real. Like, I was just kidding. But that video is up if you want to learn how to choose your own wedding photos, edit your own wedding photos. That video is up for you to take a look at. But for today's video, we are going to be talking about unique things you can do at your wedding to make it stand out and to honestly make your life a little easier. I'm gonna give you some ideas you might not have thought about. Think outside the box. We're less traditional around here. We don't have, at least on my end, mom and dad or dad paying for the wedding because the bride's parents are supposed to pay for that stuff, right? No, girl. We are on our own. We are IND. Over here, we just have to figure it out on our own. So if that means cutting costs, then that means cutting costs. If that means not doing a full 3-course plated dinner, then that means not doing a full course plated dinner. Like, it's just not in the budget. That means it's not an open bar, baby. It's a BYOB, bring your own bottle type of event. We're just very low key over here. You're not gonna find anything high maintenance. We are gonna get bougie on a budget. So these are some ideas that you can take to save some coin, make yourself stand out, have some fun with your wedding. It is your day, and literally anything you want it to be, it can be. There are traditions, but who's paying for those traditions? Not me. I'm not. That's what today's video is gonna be. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, we would absolutely love to have you. We have all kinds of fun things over here, wedding content, dyeing our hair bleach blonde and then dyeing it back brown all on our own in our poorly lit bathrooms. I like to think I'm lots of fun, and I hope you think so too. And if you do, come hang out with me every Wednesday. I'd love to be your new internet bestie. Okay, on our list, we have 5 or 6 different things. Some of these things I incorporated into my wedding, but some of these things I've seen other people do and I was absolutely obsessed. Let's talk about guest books. I personally don't remember having a guest book. I think Monique told me I did have a guest book because she remembers signing it, but I have no idea where it's at or what happened to it. So clearly it wasn't top of my priority list, but I did have a cousin who got married like a year or 2 before I did. Her idea for her guest book, she had an Instax Mini. This is the Instax Mini 11 that I was so generously sent over from Fujifilm. This idea I just absolutely loved. This is actually the series 11. It is battery powered and it comes with its own battery, so you just pop these in here. She actually had one of these sitting at her entryway table, and you got to snap a cute picture of you or whoever you're with, and then she had it in a book to where you could write, you know, your note or whatever you wanted to say to her. But how cute is it to have actual little tiny Polaroids? So if you don't know, the Instax actually prints the Polaroid right then and there as soon as you get it. We love the whole 90s aesthetic is coming back, and how cute is it to have these memorable photos of your guests and how they're dressed. You go to a wedding looking top notch and you want to take a cute picture in that. I absolutely love the idea of the Instax Mini. I think it is genius. I think it's adorable. I think it's a wonderful way to keep the memory. You can take it traveling with you if you do choose to have them for your wedding. There's so many cute films. So you buy the film separately. This one is a confetti film. There's 10 sheets in this one. Once you open the package up, you just open up your little Instax Mini, pop it in the back of there, and then you have Polaroids. Look how cute. Jeez. Cute. But I absolutely love the idea of this guest book. They now have a wide option. They do have wide Instax Polaroids also. This links to your phone. If you don't do the Instax camera, you can also do the Instax printer to where you take the picture on your phone and then all of them print out right then and there on your wireless Polaroid printer. And it's so freaking aesthetic on the cute little Polaroid. I'm absolutely obsessed. I love the classic white Polaroid film, but they have so many films to choose from. 10 out of 10, the perfect way to enhance your wedding, to bring some life. I am really bad at remembering certain details. I have a really bad memory, but to have a photo from our wedding day of all of our guests who showed up. If you're a bride around here, let me tell you, you are not going to be able to get around to talk to all of your guests. Like, I feel like at my wedding, I was constantly trying to run around, make sure I talked to every single person, but had no real in-depth conversation with anyone. I don't remember everyone that was there. So by having this as your guest book, you can see their faces, you can put names to faces, it's all right there for you to see, and it's a great memory to keep. So that is the first way you can have an easy, cute way to stand out at your wedding. Again, my cousin did it and I absolutely loved it. We were so excited to be like, oh my gosh, we get to take a picture. Like, it just gets you excited for the night. Thank you so much to Fujifilm for sending over this stuff. And if you do decide to use it, let me know. Tag me in your pictures, tag me in your little booth setups, whatever the case may be. So number two, if you don't know, if you haven't seen my original wedding content, I did build an entire donut wall for my wedding. Traditionally, you have a bride's cake, you have a groom's cake, blah, blah, blah. I did have a cake of my own, but we did not choose to do the groom's cake. What we did instead was we had a donut wall. So I personally made this wall out of just wood and I just kind of nailed it together so it stood up on its own. And then I just put little pegs on it. We were able to put donuts on it. And when I tell you, I still to this day get questions about where our donuts were from, what kind of donuts they were, how much people absolutely loved our donut wall. I was obsessed. It was so delicious. And the company that I went with, they made the donuts so beautiful to display. They really took their time on these donuts. They come and set it up for you. Some donut places even have to where you can rent something, just something non-traditional that's a snack or a dessert. I absolutely love the idea of, especially if you're not having like a cocktail hour or things like that. I'm not suggesting to give your guests donuts before dinner, even though that's what mine did. There was no donuts when I got back to the venue, but it is a super cute way to have something different, something fun. Kids absolutely loved it. But yeah, we chose to do donuts, whether it's popcorn or cupcakes, anything that you really enjoy, cinnamon rolls, brownies, ice cream, whatever the case may be. I absolutely love the idea of snack bars and just different kind of desserts and treats throughout the night. You're gonna be dancing, you're gonna be drinking, your guests are gonna wanna be replenished, so that's one way you can do that. Or you can open it up before you have dinner, like a fruit bar or a salad bar, just something that's non-traditional. I absolutely love. My personal one that I went with was the donut wall, but you can do a plethora of other snacks or desserts or treats or whatever you like. I really even considered the option of like a popcorn bar because we love popcorn so much in this household. You can do churros, literally anything. Whatever your heart desires, it's your wedding. So number two, have a fun snack, have a different snack. Switch it up a little bit. Next is your exit from the aisle. Let's talk about it. I know personally at my venue and being here in Texas where it's dry, I really wanted a sparkler exit. I see all these cute pictures of people walking out to sparklers and I think it's so freaking cute, but for us, we couldn't do that. So because they did have a firework restriction, no fires, a lot of people won't let you throw confetti because we had an outside wedding, because then what would happen? Who's gonna pick it up? Not me. So for our exit back down the aisle, we played Signed Sealed Delivered by Stevie Wonder and we had our guests blow little bubbles. And the bubble pictures, one of my favorite pictures because it's so fun, it's so lighthearted. Everybody can blow bubbles. I got the tiniest little bubbles with hearts at the top on Amazon. We had the people, whoever was driving the golf carts, they had the bubbles in their golf carts to take when they took them to the ceremony, and everybody blew bubbles at our exit. So anything fun for an exit, I absolutely love. I really love the sparkler idea at the very end of the night. I know traditionally people used to throw rice, but apparently that's harmful for birds or something. I have no idea. But something fun to add as you walk down the aisle. We also had rose petals. If you want to have baskets of rose petals, obviously if they throw them, they will decay back onto the ground if you're an outside wedding. But yeah, I absolutely loved the bubble idea, the exit down the aisle. Those pictures are so cute. It's just filled with so much happiness and everybody around us is just so happy. It's just such a great moment to capture. So if you can add something into that, I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. Number four. Okay, so number four, we were a special case because we had a wedding in 2020 during a pandemic. A lot of stuff went into that, mind-bogglingly. Nobody at our wedding got sick. Everybody's temperature got taken before we started. Masks were mandated. We had to kind of lower our guest count. But I say that to say that as our wedding gift, we had little bottles of hand sanitizer. And our little bottles of hand sanitizer said, spread love, not germs, and it had the Hendersons and the day we got married, and I absolutely loved it. It's a practical something that people can use. I personally wasn't gonna do wedding guest favors. I just think it's an added cost. So if you can find something like we did with the hand sanitizers that's practical but also people are gonna actually use and came in really helpful throughout the night, definitely do that. I've seen things done like little hangover kits for people who are on like destination weddings. When we were gonna go to Hawaii, I was gonna do like Hawaii themed like lotions and things like that, but whatever's in your budget. I've seen people do like little jam, and I think that's so freaking cute where they have little mason jars and they put jam in it and a little note. I've seen people do just like a bag of s'mores. So either cut the guest gift altogether because you're already feeding them, you're already giving them a party, they're already coming to celebrate you. I just feel like nowadays it's not as necessary as it was back in the day to have a wedding guest gift, especially if it's something that's going to break the bank. Don't put too much thought into it. I certainly didn't. I also didn't have a seating chart, but that's something completely different. I just didn't see the stress in having to sit down and stress myself out and who to sit by who. Why does it matter? Like, we should all be able to get along. Everything should be fine. As you can tell, my wedding was very informal. So if you are a by the book formal type of girl, this is probably not the advice for you. But if you're like me, you're trying to cut some costs, you're trying to, you know, just be non-traditional or not stress out about the entire wedding thing. You haven't been planning your wedding since you were 3 years old. That's just an idea. Skip the wedding guest gifts or do something really practical, really simple, really easy. Make your life a little easier. So yeah, that's tip number 4. And then number 5, I really wanted to do this one, but we didn't get around to it because our wedding venue had to cater our wedding, but food trucks, food trucks, food trucks. I was absolutely obsessed with the idea of like different kinds of things for dinner. In Texas, we have like a barbecue option or a Mexican option, but I've seen people do pizza. I've seen people do taco bars, which I was absolutely obsessed with. I love the idea of having a food truck to where, or a couple of food trucks for that matter. Nowadays, if I was gonna go get married, I would probably want a coffee truck at my wedding, but any kind of truck that you can think of, you can ask them if they're available to come to your wedding. You can do those kinds of things. And then you have food for a certain amount of period of time. You tell them how long you want them to be there, about how many guests you're expecting, and you work it out that way. Then you don't have to worry about making sure everybody's fed at the buffet line or making sure everybody gets plated. Like, they just get up and go whenever they're ready to eat some food. The food truck already has everything they need. You won't have to worry about getting a venue with a kitchen or getting a venue with a refrigerator and that type of stuff. You'll already have everything there that they need in their food truck. It would just make your life so much easier, and there is no limit to the amount of different food trucks that you can find. There is like hot chicken and funnel cakes, and I know a churro truck around here in San Antonio. Coffee trucks I'm absolutely obsessed with, but also you can do like pizza trucks, taco trucks, gyro trucks, literally anything. I'm sure you can find a food truck for it. So that's an idea to kind of cut some costs, because to be honest, outside of the venue, dinner was the most expensive part of our wedding. We spent thousands and thousands of dollars on feeding people. So if you can cut that cost by any means, I would, ooh, girl, I would definitely do that, because I was not able to. I would just look into different kind of wedding I wouldn't do anything super traditional, but that's just me. I've also known people who have had family cater their wedding. So like a bunch of their family members who can cook really well bring a dish and they do it that way. And by doing something like that, you can then spend more money on your dream venue, or spend more money on your dream photographer, spend more money on your dream videographer, spend more money on the things that are important to you, and then find a way to budget the rest of it. It's your wedding day. I would just, whatever makes you happy, whatever makes you less stressed, whatever else you have less hands on, I would absolutely do that. But that's just a few ideas of how to step outside of the box, de-stress yourself, have your wedding stand out a little bit. All of this stuff is a lot less traditional. You might have some mother-in-laws, some grandparents kind of fight you on it, but my motto at the end of the day was, if they're not helping me pay for it, keep your opinion to yourself. Like, I don't care. You don't like that I didn't have this or I didn't have that. Well, if you were gonna pay for it, we could have had it. You know what I mean? But if you're on your own or it's not in the budget, then it's not in the budget. We are here to save coin. We are here to enjoy our wedding day. We are here to celebrate love. And that's all that matters. So that's all for today's video. If you choose any of the options to implement into your wedding, I would absolutely love to see them. I would love to hear your brainstorms down in the comments of some weddings that you've been to where they also had things that was like, oh, cute, that's that stuck out to you. I feel like it's always been non-traditional weddings that have stuck out to me over like super high class, expensive black tie weddings, which are obviously nice to go to, but I'm just really not trying to spend $400 on a black tie wedding event. But that's just me. So that's all for today's video. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. Again, thank you so much Fujifilm for sending over this equipment. We will see you next Wednesday. Bye. Hello, can you let me in here? And 9 times out of 10, I don't go develop the photos on here. Develop. What is this? Peace.